Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for NDF's GNEM Symposium Speaker Series. I'm Nancy Lurie, NDF's Chief Operations Officer, and I'm so glad to see so many friends of NDF and people who are new to NDF here to join us for what I know is going to be an exceptional presentation. This is one that when we first pivoted from our in-person symposium to our speaker series, we knew we wanted to do and we knew was going to be popular and well received and important for everyone to join and also to live on our library after we're done today. So without further ado, I really just want to introduce Amy Curran and Tara Voogel, both who are NDF patient advocacy program managers and really my partners in everything having to do with our patient advocacy program. They've been here obviously longer than I have, and they know everything and everyone there is to know about the patient population, and they really are the people who I count on most to help me in my understanding while I learn. There's nothing that they won't do, and there's no one they aren't happy to get to know. So hopefully those of you who don't know them yet will get to know them a little bit over the course of this presentation, and I'll make sure that I put their contact information in the chat box, and please feel free to reach out to them anytime. Today they're going to present something that they've presented at our live symposium in the past and has been super popular and very helpful. It's something that they both have been working really tirelessly on for a very long time, and I think that will be obvious when you see their presentation. Their topic is assistive devices to increase independence in everyday life with neuromuscular disease, but I can tell you that from the parts of it that I've already seen, it's information that will help everyone. So with that, Amy and Tara, I will turn it over to you, and I'll come back on just to thank you in the end. So thank you to everyone for being here, and Tara and Amy, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Nancy, for introducing us. Hello, everyone. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us today. For those who don't know me, my name is Tara, and I'm a GNE myopathy patient. I want to tell you briefly about myself, and throughout our discussion, you'll hear the reasons why I use some of the implements, equipment, and gadgets we are presenting today. I come from a family of 7 siblings, of which 5 of us suffer from GNEM, so GNE myopathy. As a young teenager growing up, I observed the progression of this disease, which started in my eldest sister. That was more than 45 years ago. I must say that because I have directly seen the progression of this disease from the early stages to, I think, the most advanced stages, I've gained some personal insights into how I must adjust with this disease in order for me to be as independent as long as possible. So let me tell you about my approach in adapting to my physical weakness and decline. Whenever I experience a decline in my strength, I usually try to delay the use of any adaptive equipment. My tendency is to challenge myself as long as possible and to use my physical strength. Of course, paying attention to any safety issues that may arise, such as if I refuse to use a walking stick or a walker, will I fall, or will a pair of ankle-foot orthoses or braces allow me the ability to walk longer without having to use a wheelchair? Therefore, my tactic is to delay any use of motorized or automated equipment for as long as I can. This may not work for some of you, only you know your ability. I know most of us are very attentive to our strength, balance, and endurance, and we know when to start using an adaptive device. In addition to observing my family members suffering with GNE myopathy, I also worked in a skilled nursing and rehab facility for over 15 years with a team of physical, occupational therapists, and rehab staff. where I gained experiences which have now been quite invaluable for me in approaching my own physical limitations. Just a side point, I know many of us may feel embarrassed or may feel some kind of cultural stigma when using adaptive devices. And this is very difficult and an emotional place for us to be. However, safety is very important to us because we are prone to falls, and falls may cause unnecessary injuries, which in turn may lead to more weakness. We want to avoid falls at all costs. As you will hear, we want this presentation to be a discussion with all of you. It's not only Amy and I presenting, but all of you as well. Today's presentation will be added as a living interactive document with images, videos, and links to the products on the NDF website. And I want to really thank Amy, who's put in so many hours of work to get Prezi on. Take it, Amy.
Thank you, Tara. Hi, everyone. I'm Amy, and I'm 38 with GNEM, and I have 3 older siblings who also have GNEM. I am the youngest of the 4 siblings, and growing up, we all worked with each other and our parents and our family members discussing what can we do to continue independently doing daily activities ourselves or with some kind of assistive device so that we can be together independent and doing what we do by ourselves. And what we would do is we would talk about maybe moving our bodies a different way, using our stronger leg instead of our weaker leg, or finding a device that would work for us. And with all those years together, we would do our research and we would come up with different things. And each one of us might use something different than what the other sibling would. So with 20 years of us doing that, we've used a lot of devices or tried devices and they didn't work, but we had them in our repertoire of things that we would use. So I used that knowledge that I have, and I was also a special education teacher. So I worked with occupational therapists, speech therapists, and physical therapists in my special education background, and I have a lot of those tools in my background. So I used them in my presentation as well for this. And with that, Tara and I came together and we made this Prezi presentation. And you will see that there's going to be a lot of different options on here. In no means are we medical professionals, but what we have put together is something that we hope that you can use and that will help you find something that might work for you. And that's what this presentation comes down to, is that if we can help you in some way, that's what we want to do. So we're going to move on to the next part of our presentation.
So the overview of our presentation is going to be an introduction to assistive devices and adaptive equipment, implements, and gadgets. You will learn about the various devices and options available to you when choosing a suitable equipment. You'll hear and see demonstration of the use of some functional and practical equipment. We have an issue with our video, so some of the video presentation we can't show. It will be on our website, and we could share the links with you if you would like. And you will participate and share a piece of equipment that you find helpful.
Before we go on into the presentation, we have a couple disclaimers for you. We are not affiliated with anything that we're showing you here. It's all for informational purposes. We're not going to make any money off of marketing or showing you any of these products. And the second disclaimer is this presentation and any downloadable documents that we make from this presentation is not medical advice. This is just for informational purposes. So please take that to heart. We are not medical professionals. We're just showing you this for informational purposes. Tara is going to explain how to use this resource.
Yeah, you do not have to follow the order of the presentation. You'll see a lot of bubbles, and we have organize them into rooms of a house. So you don't have, we're not going to follow any order, or when you're on the website, you could go from one room to another. All the items here do not have to belong in one room. They're interchangeable and adaptable. All items in this presentation are used by someone in the neuromuscular disease community unless otherwise noted.
Yes, so some of these resources I recently just found at the 2020 Virtual Abilities Expo. So I have noted that if I don't know anyone has currently used the item, I put a little note in there saying I found it at the Abilities Expo. I just want to say a special thanks to certain companies who have sent us samples of their products. Phone Leash, Foot Matters, Pop Sockets, Caterpie, and Lock Laces. Okay, so we are going to start off with, this is the main page of our Prezi presentation, and here you're going to see what we're calling the bubbles. So we have the main bubbles right here, and I have started here with general use, and then we go into rooms of the house, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, and living area, getting out and about, lift systems, transfers, and ramps, technology, all about braces and shoes. And then on the bottom row here, we have home renovations, office and school, exercise, recreation, and hobbies, emergency preparedness, and accessible travel. So I'm going to start sharing with you 3 resources that I found pretty good for us this year. And I'm going to go into the technology bubble here. And this is one that my sister showed me. And this one is the vertical USB power strip with a wireless charger. And this one here is something that you can put on top of your desk or your end table. So you don't have to go down to the ground, bend down to the ground. You can keep it up on top of something and you can plug it in up there, and it has a USB plugs right there. And on top of it is a USB charger, or sorry, a wireless charger that you can put your phone on top of, or your AirPods if you have AirPods. So I thought this one is very interesting, and it's easier for us so that we don't have to bend down to the ground. My parents have it at their house on their end table, and it makes it much easier for me when I go over to visit to charge my phone than having to reach down to the ground. And down here is the reasons why we like it. And I have a link here when you go in on your own time to find it on Amazon. And I'm going to come back out to the home screen. And the second thing I'm going to show you is in the office and school one. Instead of a normal desk that you see around, I bought a table that is counter height, and that is what I made my desk in my house now, so that I can just go up to it in my wheelchair, and I have my computer on it, and I have like a file folder for all my office stuff. And this way, I can make my wheelchair increase or decrease in height, and the table is set up so that I can reach it fairly easily. So I use a counter height table instead of a desk for my office desk. The third thing I want to show you is the whole bubble of emergency preparedness. Something that is near and dear to my heart. Before GNEM was affecting me, I was a volunteer firefighter. So this whole bubble here has a lot of resources for you to use. The first bubble here is how to make a plan. We'll get into that in a little bit. This one is resources. In the resources, there's just a bunch of links for people with disabilities and what to do about emergency preparedness. This bubble here is all about falls, and you'll see that the falls bubble is in a bunch of different ones all in this whole presentation. So you might see it in lift systems, you'll see it in getting out and about, you'll see it in a bunch of different bubbles, but it's the exact same bubble. In falls, you can call 911 to help pick you up after a fall. There's a bunch of links here about how to get up from a fall, ways to rescue yourself. And then down here in all of these blue bubbles here, There's different things to help pick you up after a fall. They all range in different prices. For instance, this is a portable Hoyer lift, and I have a link down here. It tells you the options about a Hoyer lift. And if we come back out, there's also an option here for people who have a little bit more mobility. These are stairs that you can ease your way back onto to get up to a chair. So you can shuffle backwards step by step to get back to the chair level. And then there's a portable transfer sling that you can keep in your car, and you can transfer from the floor to a chair with the help of people. And then there are the more newer versions of the inflatable airbag type options, where you put the airbag under you and it inflates up. If you can see in these pictures here with this this woman, it inflates up to a point where you're sitting, and then you can stand up from that position. So this fall bubble has a bunch of different options down here for when you fall. There's options to help you get back up again. How to make a plan for emergency preparedness. This just tells you what to do, getting your paperwork in order, having a communication plan, and then having some emergency kits and what to do in an emergency. And then this extra one down here is if there's a commuter in your family, how to have a commuter emergency plan. Then this bubble is talking about having some ready-made emergency kits in case making one yourself might be a little bit difficult. These companies here make emergency kits for you. This bubble has useful emergency items, including stair chairs, fire-resistant document bags, a portable multi-use charger. Now this charger my sister has, and she told me about it. It can charge the lifts you have in your house that lift you up from your bed to like your wheelchair. You can also charge cars and laptops and cell phones and tablets and things of that nature. And this is mobility roadside assistance. So we've all heard of AAA and how they can come to you and help your vehicle, but they might not be able to transport you because of your mobility issues. Mobility roadside assistance, you can add this on and they will transport you where you need to go. And they also have a AAA type service as well for vehicles. It's called mobility roadside assistance. And then Tara would like to talk about 3 resources that she would like to show you. Her first one is the leg lift.
I thought it was the yoga strap.
Sorry, yes, the yoga strap.
So I have 3 or 4 of these yoga straps with me, and they're really easy to roll and put in your purse or bag when you're traveling. They're so invaluable. I've been using them for years. If I'm on a plane, I could fasten it around my knees, and my knees don't splay out and touch the other passenger on the plane. Or it helps me to lift my leg up and put on a bed or in the car. At night, now that I'm getting weaker, it's really hard for me to bend my knees at night and sleep. I sleep on my side. And so I have 2 of these yoga straps that I fasten around each knee, and then I have them up to where my hands are, and I pull them at night, and I can bend my knees that way to sleep. So these are something I take all over. When I go to the swimming pool, I take them with me. I use them on the exercise equipment. I went to the dentist this week, and the dentist chair is so narrow, my legs are splaying out, falling off the dentist chair. So I put one of these around my knees and tie it and brought my knees together, and I was able to complete my dental procedure. So I find this very invaluable. They're inexpensive, and you can get them on Amazon. I use the 6 to 8 foot length one, and I use the cotton with the plastic bubble, belt, buckle head.
And you'll find the yoga strap is also found in a bunch of bubbles. It's found right here in the general use bubble. I also put it in the exercise bubble. And I believe I also have it in the lift systems, transfers, and ramps, because you can use it to put your legs together when you're transferring. Also, Tara would like to talk about the AFOs. And she's going to talk about her plastic custom-made braces.
So I know these are my exact plastic AFOs, or ankle foot orthoses. I know many of you wear some different kinds, and those are also in the bubble. Amy will show those later. These have to be made, these are custom made, and under the direction of a physical therapist and an orthotist. And they're cast, so they put the cast around both legs, and the physical therapist usually check the arches and make sure it's done right. And she does all kinds of measurement with the ankle, how the ankle is going to be aligned to the leg, and then it's casted, and a couple weeks later you get these. And I practice. When I first got these plastic braces, or AFOs, I had to practice between a parallel bar for a whole week before I was able to feel safe enough to use them. And so when I first got them, I put them in my closet for at least 5 years, because, as I was saying, I was embarrassed to wear them. And there was so much stigma with wearing them. When I started wearing them, I transitioned from wearing dresses and skirts to wearing pants. And prior to that, I didn't really like to wear long pants. I love dresses. I love skirts and blouse. And so I was so embarrassed to wear these. They were hidden in my closet for years. And then I started having a lot of falls, and broke a couple front teeth during those falls, and had to go to the emergency room. And finally I said, I'll wear these braces. So this was almost 30 years ago. And I personally believe these braces have kept me walking. Up till now, I can walk, even after I started having symptoms 30 years ago.
Okay. And then Tara would like to show you in the bathroom bubble. We're going to go into shower chairs, commodes, and toilet seats. And she's going to show you the Uplift Commode.
So I didn't know about this Uplift Commode until late last year, when I was having some issues after a surgery. And I have an ADA toilet, ADA compliant toilet in my bathroom. And that's about 17 to 19 inches in height from the ground to the top of the toilet. But after this procedure, I found that even that toilet was too low for me. And even if I added a toilet seat to that toilet, it wasn't going to help me to come to a standing position or semi-standing position. So after some research, I found this Uplift Commode, which could be placed over any toilet. And then side, there's a soft button that doesn't take a lot of strength to press, and it eases you up into a semi-standing position. And it helped me to stand up and because most of us are able to walk, our quadriceps are strong. So once you get into that semi-standing position, you can get up and walk. And now I'm able to go back to my regular toilet. So I just take that out and put it in the corner. But if you find that you're having issues from sit to stand, this may be an option, and it will fit over your toilet. It's not very bulky, and it's not very pricey compared to other alternatives.
Yes. Good. Thank you, Tara. And now Tara is going to address some of the questions that we received on Facebook for this presentation. The first one is about nail clippers. Someone had asked about clipping their toenails.
So one of our patients had asked how to cut his toenails. And usually I get help. I go to, I get a pedicure and stuff like that. But to be independent, he wants something that could trim his toenails by himself. I haven't used this equipment, and I looked around, and this one seems like it may work. I'm not sure if it will work. We didn't get feedback if it worked or not yet. But I'm looking at the handle of it, and because it has a handle like the reacher I use at home, and some of us use a reacher like that, it looks like it might work for us. So if you're having issues with trimming your toenails, maybe you may want to try this and give us some feedback so we could add this to the bubble and on the website.
Yes. The second question we had was about leg lifters. So we have two leg lifters here, and Tara's going to talk about them. Here's one leg lifter with one loop.
So this is the part Amy and I had worked on this video, and we were going to show you the video because it's so easy. Once you see the video, you'll get an idea how to bring your feet off the floor onto the bed, or if you're sitting on the sofa, how to do it. This is an occupational therapist demonstrating this video, and we're going to put the video in the chat box, and later you could look at it, or once it's on the website. Once it's on the website, it will be enabled, so you'll get to see it. I have one of these leg lifter that I use in my bedroom, and let me see if I could show you what it looks like. I don't know if you could see it. Can you imagine that? So I use it on my bed every day. Anytime I go on the bed, I use it. I use I think it's 5 foot long one. They come in different lengths. You could get a shorter one to use in your car. Like if you're sitting in your car, you can't get your leg up, you could use a shorter one. They also come, some of them are very rigid and some are soft. So you'll have to figure out, I have a semi-rigid one where the handle is soft and the bottom part that I loop around my feet are soft. So you may want to explore what will work for you.
And the second leg lifter over here has multiple loops.
Yeah. So I have one of these, and you could use this to also help you stretch if you do stretching. The loops are very functional. I have one of these at the end of my bed hooked up to a bar. And so if I'm having difficulties getting up from a lying position, I hold one of these loops to pull myself up. So this has multiple function. And of course, it's easy to take if you're traveling to a hotel or somewhere to your family's home. You could take this with you. It's easy to, put in your purse or your suitcase.
Yes. Good. And the third question that came from Facebook was about can openers. So we're going to go into kitchen gadgets, openers. So there's 4 different openers here that we have found and I have tried to use. I showed this one in a previous presentation. This is the 5-in-1 can opener. So it can open soda and water bottles. It can open ring pull cans down here. It can pull tabs off of cans. It can flip tops off and open glass and beer bottles. And it can break the seal on wine. So we've seen that one before. This one is a jar opener. Based on how big the jar is how far this will put on the jar. And then you just turn it and it opens the jars. This one is a ring pull can opener. We've seen that one before. And then this one is an easy to use electric can opener. You place it on top and you hit the button and you don't even have to hold it. It just opens it on its own. The one downside is that the batteries do tend to run out quickly, but if you use rechargeable ones, you don't have to worry as much. So there's 4 options there for different kinds of can openers. I've used all of them and they all do work. It depends on what your needs are, but you can find an option that works for you. The next thing we're going to talk about are other questions I've received not on Facebook. The first one, we're going to go back into all about braces and shoes, is shoelaces. Once we reach a certain level of mobility, it's hard to bend down and retie your shoelaces. So I did a lot of research for this presentation on finding shoelaces that will not come untied, or you can tie once, or like elastic shoelaces where you don't have to tie them at all. So I found a brand called Foot Matters. They have curly no tie spring shoelaces. I have samples of these. I have not tried them out myself. And so you can see here, they're big spring. You put them in your shoes and the springs here at the end stop them from coming loose out of your shoes. And then Foot Matters also has elastic no tie stretch shoelaces. You tie them once and you don't have to tie them ever again. And they're elastic and you can put your feet in your shoes without having to untie them or retie them. And they come in 3 different sizes based on how long you need your shoelaces to be. And they come in all sorts of colors as well. And then the next set of shoelaces I found were lock laces. So they're not elastic, but they have a little spring lock on them. So they lock secure and you can tighten them. Each time you put your shoes on, you have to use the spring lock to lock them. So they're a little bit harder to use. I found that I wouldn't be able to use them with my hand strength, but a caregiver who's helping you with your shoes on would be able to lock them into place every time that you need to put your shoes on or take them off. And the next brand, Caterpie. These are elastic shoelaces, and they have these little bulbs here, kind of like how a caterpillar has little bulbs for their body. And the little bulbs at the end will keep your shoelaces in place, and they're elastic and they stretch, and you won't have to, you can take your foot in and out without having to remove the shoelaces or untie or anything of that nature. We also have samples of those to try out as well. So those are the options for your shoelaces without having to worry about having to bend down and retie your shoes or worry about them coming loose during the day. The next thing we're going to talk about is help with eating. In here, there's a bunch of different things that can help you hold utensils. They include the Easy Hold brand. We talked about that at another conference. They are silicone hand holders, grippers here. They come in all different sizes. The light green ones here that you see are the adult size ones. And then we have 3 different grasping cuffs here. There's this one here from Salmons Preston's. There's a universal cuff. And then we have a universal cuff here with foam as well in the hand here. And then my sister is going to talk about the Obi dining robot. She recently had a chance to try it out at the University of Pennsylvania. And she's going to talk about her experience trying out this robotic eating arm. So if my sister Linda could unmute herself, she's going to talk about her experience with this.
No, just the. Hi, this is Linda. Like Amy said, back in July, I had the chance to go test out the Obi. They allow you 2 different options for testing. The first one was a home trial, which I actually discarded because, well, one, you have to pay a $500 deposit, which you do get back. But I chose the second option, which was to go to my doctor's office and test it out because the nurse was there. And for insurance purposes, she can document how well it worked for me. And we are now hopefully getting my insurance to pay for it. I'm on Medicare, so it's probably going to take a little bit of a process, but I will let you know if they actually cover it. But the device works great. It's the first time in a couple years that I got to actually, you know, be independent on eating. So if you can use any type of switch, you can use this device. It comes with 2 different spoons. I actually ate yogurt, Cheerios, and water, and nothing spilled. So it was a great device, very easy to set up. Again, you will need assistance to set it up, but once it's set up, you can control however you eat, how fast you want to eat. You know, it has 4 little dishes, so you can pick what food that you want to eat at your own time and pace.
Thank you. That's awesome.
And Amy will have a video for that, right?
Yeah, there is a video. Do you want me to?
Yeah.
I can play the video if people want to see it.
Yeah, that might be. I'm interested. I'm curious.
Okay. All right, I'll play the video.
Okay.
I think we'd all agree that eating is one of life's greatest pleasures. But this isn't the case for millions of people, and we don't think that's right. My name's John Dekhar, and I'm the inventor and designer of Obi, the first dining robot of its kind. We believe everyone should have access to a fulfilling and an inspiring life. Through everything we do, it's our mission to create moments of magic that inspire people to see into the bright future of possibilities awaiting them. The best gift that you can give the world is living your life fully expressed. And this is just the beginning. We're gonna never stop dreaming big.
Wow, that looks interesting.
It does. And the next thing that we're going to talk about, someone had asked about using a toothbrush. So some of the tips that we can give out to you are, if you can't get a good clean with a regular toothbrush, try using a light electric toothbrush that you can hold with your strengths. If adult toothbrushes are too heavy for you, try going to a kid-sized toothbrush. And then an alternative to sitting at a sink, you can sit at, I'm going to see, hold on one sec here, let's see if we can do it. I have a tray in front of my wheelchair right now. If you're having trouble sitting at a sink, you can put your hands at a counter height table or tray on your wheelchair like I am now, and then put your hands in front of your face. I'm going to use a pen as an example here. And then you can put the toothbrush up at your mouth with your hands in front of your face and scrub in this fashion. It's an alternative to sitting at the sink. And then you can just use a bowl or some cup or something and then rinse out your mouth in that fashion and then dump that at the sink. So it's an alternative to being at the sink if you can't get there. And then in my quest to find alternatives to that, I found a company that makes toothbrushes for people who have a little bit of trouble brushing their teeth, and it's called the Collis Curve toothbrush. So it's the bristles are kind of curved in like this, so when they go to your teeth, it wraps around your teeth and cleans. The only thing I found a little bit, no one has used it, so you'd have to tell me and I could put it on here on the presentation for people to know, is that one toothbrush was like $25. So I thought, wow, it's a little bit expensive for one toothbrush, but it is designed for people who have a little less strength, and it can get around your tooth in one motion. So that way you don't have to brush your teeth longer than normal. And just a reminder, if you have any questions or you want us to see, if you want to see certain things, just let me know. For right now, I'm just going to give you a general overview of the buttons. So we're kind of going through them pretty fast right now. So the first one here is general use. These are all things that can kind of be used wherever. So we have it around the house. That's the multi-use charger. These are door hinges that expand your door a couple of inches to give you more room to get in, whether you're using a walker or a wheelchair. That way you don't scuff up your door frame. It's an alternative to having to actually like widen your door frame, having somebody come in and take down your door frame and then put a new one in. So these door hinges give you a couple extra inches. And this is a wood dolly. This I use I have a second bedroom that we kind of use as like a craft room. And I put this on my table in there, and I can move things to the back of the table and then back to the front of the table again, without having to like walk to the back of the table. So I can just shift things forward and backwards with this dolly instead of having to walk to the back of the table. I can just push it back and forth. And then there's other things here in general use, help holding objects, leg lifters, multi-use objects, non-slip surfaces. So in this one we have Dysum. It's a special polymer that makes things not slippery anymore. It has special mats and all different kind of products. It has 101 uses. If you click on that link, it's quite interesting. Cat tongue grips. That's a newer thing. They have special pads, special tapes, special things for the phone, and a slip-proof tablet and laptop grips.
So
And then,
Amy,
yes.
there are a couple questions coming in. Would you like
Sure.
to answer those, or you want to go ahead with all the bubbles?
Oh no, I can answer them.
So Anne is asking, would like some ideas on assistive arm for weakness to do creative painting, just like you do painting. So that's a good question for you to answer.
Oh, absolutely. So I would go into the help holding objects. So with that, the two things I would say is try with the easy hold. These silicone grips can help you hold the paintbrushes, or I would go into the foam tubing for grip. And these come in, when you buy them, they come in 3 sizes here with the hole in the tubing at different sizes. And you can put the paintbrush right in the tubing and then cut the tubing down to the size that you need. And then it would help hold the paintbrushes. And you can leave the tubing as long as you need it for however you are painting. I paint with my canvases on the table. You still might paint on an easel. So you can leave the tubing as long as you need for if you need the paintbrush longer or shorter.
And another question is, any help to wipe butt? Sorry, but important.
Oh, absolutely. Very understandable. So let's go to the bathroom. Let's go into hygiene. Okay, so I use these. I'll be truthful, and these are called adult washcloths. I use these. They are not flushable, but they are 12 by 8 inches. So when you put them on your hand, they cover your entire hand. And that way you don't get contamination onto your hand, and they help you wipe. They're already wet, and they also have a cleansing solution already on them. So that can help you wipe. Another option is this is cleansing foam. This can you can squirt right onto toilet paper, and it's will help you cleanse. And you don't have to, it's flushable, the toilet paper is flushable, so you don't have to worry about anything of that nature. And they come in little 4-ounce bottles, so you can carry them with you. It's very transportable. And I take the cleansing foam, I always take with me when I travel, because say you are staying at family or friends' houses and the bathrooms aren't always accessible. This way you have an option for bathing as well, because it's also, it's what hospitals use to bathe you. So it's also a soap then as well. So if the bathroom doesn't work for you in a hotel, say, you have this option for you when you go somewhere. So I've been to a hotel where it was an ADA roll-in shower, but it was walled off in such a fashion that you couldn't actually get your wheelchair into the shower. And I had this foam with me, so that way I still had a way to clean myself. And this is a good foam to use on toilet paper to wipe yourself with. And then we also have, Tara, you can talk about this one.
Yeah, so this travel bidet, if you don't have a bidet toilet at home, you could use this as well. And it's very inexpensive, and you could get it on Amazon. You fill it with water, and you could have it by your toilet. And it's very easy to depress. And my hand, I have a couple of these for when I travel. And it's easy to depress, so my hand can go around it, because sometimes bottles are too wide for our hands to hold and press. And this is one way of cleaning yourself with water. I don't know, there's another item I had gotten from the NIH, and I don't know if it's on this bubble, Amy, and maybe I'll put it on the bubble later. It's another item to hold toilet paper, and it has a long handle. And
oh yes, we can put that on here. We don't have that on here. We can put it on there.
Okay, I'll put that link later. It holds the toilet paper, and it has a long handle. You could shorten the handle, or you could lengthen the handle, and then you could wipe your butt, as you say. Wipe it with that. So we'll add that link to this bubble. I hope that answered your question.
And one of the things I also have at my house to help is it's called the Big John toilet seat. This toilet seat is wider than other toilet seats, and because the toilet seat is wider than normal toilet seats, it allows me to lean more so than a regular, I can lean more than a normal toilet seat. So it enables me to be able to wipe, because I can have more leaning than a normal toilet seat, if that makes sense. Because it's wider, I can lean more, which enables me to be able to wipe myself. Are there any other questions?
I think those are the questions for right now.
Okay.
If anyone wants to share a piece of adaptive equipment that they use, please put it in the chat box, and we will see if we have it in the bubble, and you could share how you use it. Oh, hold on, there are a couple more. Margaret is saying, I have no strength to use toilet paper handle thing. I need to wipe when I soil, and no carer. How would we address that, Amy?
the toilet paper handle is a bit heavier. I do not use one, and that's why I use the wipes, the adult wash wipes, and the foam on the toilet paper. So it's all about if you can reach, if you can lean and reach. One of the things I can show is in home renovations, there is I have 2 videos of my bathroom where I have 2 grab bars next to my toilet seats, which enable me to lean on the grab bar, and then I can get behind myself to be able to wipe. So my bathroom is set up so that I can lean and reach around and be able to wipe. So I would ask you to look at that and see if that is something that can help you with that, where if you have grab bars set up a certain way to still be able to allow you to reach.
And Mona is asking, I hope that answers your question, Margaret. Otherwise, email Amy or I, and we can try to find any
Absolutely.
or additional resources for you. Mona is asking, does anyone have an integrated shower toilet, or do you guys have tips?
That is definitely something that we're looking into. As if you watch my bathroom videos, my bathroom has 2 shower drains, and and the way the shower moves, the removable handle, when I can no longer sit on my shower bench, I can take a shower from my toilet. And that is something that we are working on right now, is actually taking the first shower from my toilet to make sure everything is going to work okay. So that's what we're getting ready to do at my house now. See how it works. Any ways to better brush your hair? Good one. So if you go into bedroom, I have hair in the bedroom because it's where I brush my hair, but it could be in the bathroom too. So these things are all interchangeable. I recently bought a long reach comb and brush set because I cannot reach the back of my head with regular brushes anymore. So I have a link here on Amazon for them. So with these long reach comb and brush sets, I am now able to brush the back of my head. So I hope this helps with better ways to brush your hair. They were a little bit more expensive than a regular brush and comb, but I am now able to actually reach the back of my head because I have a hard time lifting my hands up above my head to get to the back. These have done the job for me, and I can also use them in the shower too to help with shampooing the back of my head too. I use the comb in the shower with shampoo.
Also, if I may add to that, if you have a place to support your elbows, then you could brush your hair easier. So anything we could do, we find difficult when we're using our hands and arms, if we could support the elbow and try to use that implement, such as combing our hair, or as Amy mentioned, brushing our teeth, that will help to keep us independent as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Mona is mentioning she also has struggle with wiping, and she uses wet wipes. And I know, Mona, you're renovating your home, and it would be good for us to have, once it's done, to have the video to show us your integrated toilet. So that will be great.
Yeah.
Nancy, did you have some questions coming up? Your microphone is muted.
Sorry about that. I think you covered a lot of ground there. I know that there are still bubbles that people can check out on their own when we get this on our website. I saw there was one question about the toenail clipper that I wasn't sure you addressed, where someone was asking if it actually has a clipper attached or if you use a regular clipper with that long handle.
I think it comes complete.
Yeah, it comes complete.
Can you go back to that bubble, Amy, and maybe we could look at it? Yeah, it comes complete.
I think that answers the question. No, I think you've answered Everything that people are asking now, and I'm sure that more questions will come up when people have the ability to navigate the app themselves. I think that it's really obvious to everyone joining us today that you guys put a tremendous amount of work into this, and it's something that I think having on our website will really serve as a resource for people now and for a very long time. And the good news is that we'll be able to continually update it. So as we get new products and as you guys learn about new things, you guys should all go back to the website periodically and check it out, especially when you have specific questions. And also, as they were mentioning, if you have things that you'd like us to add to it, this is definitely a group effort, and we would love to be able to add the things that you find useful to this for everyone to share. So it's definitely a shared resource for everyone. I will say the first thing I learned was that Amy was a volunteer firefighter. I never knew that. So,
Yes, I was.
So that was interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that you have proven that there are lots of things that can help people in so many ways. And I hope that everyone found this to be useful. I can't imagine that you didn't. I hope that everyone stays in touch and continues to build this resource out for each other. And I can't thank Amy and Tara enough for not just for what they did today and with this presentation, but what they do for the GNEM community every day. We're so proud of the work they do, and we're so grateful and humbled by all that they give to us. So I want to thank you guys so much for your time and your energy and everything that you give to everyone on the call and everyone around the world who is sharing in this disease experience. I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and I want to let you know that we continue next week. We've got, we're continuing with these patient-centric, but a little bit less scientific presentations. We have from the UC Irvine Physical Therapy Department as part of the multidisciplinary telehealth clinic that we're putting together. Hopefully you joined us for Dr. Tassin Mozafar's presentation about that, and if not, there's information on the website. We're putting together a telehealth clinic that we're hoping everyone will be able to take advantage of. One of the specialists will be a physical therapy, and Patrick Tierney, who is the physical therapist there, is going to join us to talk about his topic is it's all about function, the role of physical therapy in function and the role of physical therapy in the functional management of people with neuromuscular disease. So I think another really practical, hands-on experience for all of you to listen and to learn from someone who has an expertise in neuromuscular disease. So hopefully you'll join us all again next week. The registration is open on our website, and we hope that you've enjoyed this one and that we see you here again soon, and that you all take good care of yourselves and stay in touch. Amy and Tara, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.